seeing him getting a lot of work, so he's try to get him as healthy as possible.
Are you concerned at all about, any player's durability through the course of the season, but especially a first-year player who is getting as many touches?
Yeah, no, I think you want to be smart about that, and that's absolutely something that you think about. The way that the game unfolded, and he's done an excellent job through the first couple weeks. But it's like anything else. You look at the first 2 weeks, Gary, and not exclusive to Puka. There's a couple other guys that we've looked at. You say, okay, where are some of those spots to be able to maybe supplement their workload a little bit and be cognizant of some of those things to be mindful of as 17 games that we're guaranteed.
This is the first time we've had a chance to talk to you since the trade.
Yep.
Cam. So as you were, and we talked about this before you traded him, but now that it's done, now that it's over, how do you kind of reflect on your relationship with him and what went wrong here?
No, I wouldn't say it was, sometimes you have to be able to make tough decisions. And I'm very grateful for the things that Cam did over the course of his career. I'm always going to make decisions that I think are in the best interest of the football team. And that's not a personal indictment on him. He's a very good player, did a lot of really good things. Sometimes you're looking at, all right, the situation for him and for our team. And we felt like, Minnesota was excited. He knows Kevin. He knows Wes, Chris O'Hara, Thad Bogardus is there, Tyler Williams. So there'll be some comfortability and some familiarity there. And so feel good. And I'll wish him nothing but the best.
You on any level feel a sense of, failure? Because you are.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Players coach is someone who seems to always be able to make it work.
Sure, and I think that's kind of an easy narrative. Like I said, I think what we're interested in is making decisions that we feel like are in the best interest of the team, and there's a lot of layers to it. But I am grateful for Cam, and I wish him nothing but the best moving forward.
Was this more that Kyron just won the job?
Yeah, you know what? I wish Cam nothing but the best. We're moving forward. We're looking towards, Cincinnati, and I am very pleased with that running back room. I thought Kyron did a nice job. I think Ronnie Rivers is capable of being able to supplement him a little bit more, and whether it be Royce Freeman or Zach Evans, feel good about that group and Ron Gould's leadership in that group.
Called Royce up from the practice squad and had Zach inactive on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Zach in his development?
He's doing a good job. In a lot of instances, when you're talking about your third back, a lot of the conversation tilt towards special teams. Royce is a guy that's played in this league. There's been some trust, some equity built up based on his experience in the league. And so Zach has done a lot of good things. I've loved Zach's engagement. I've loved his demeanor the last couple weeks. Think he's got, a really bright future. I want to see him continue to be able to put the work in, but a lot of those decisions, especially as it relates to when you have three running backs up, all right, you're talking to Chase Blackburn and Jeremy Springer, and you're figuring out what's the best way to be able to get your 48 guys and how you envision the game kind of playing out, which you can never truly predict, but that was what went into it from a team's perspective.
A lot of coaches and teammates have talked about how impressed they've been with Tutu and how he's grown and developed.
Yeah.
It also looks like you guys are trying new things and getting him in space, a lot of emotions, those types of things. What are those conversations like, not just designing ideas like that, but also understanding that he as a player is capable?
Well, I think he's really brought that stuff to life over the offseason program, which you guys got a chance to see when you were out here. And what I appreciate about a lot of the guys that we've talked about on this team is they've just put the work in, and then they've earned opportunities, and really they allow us to be able to do certain things. And I think that's our job, is to figure out, all right, what are the best ways to activate things that are in alignment with things that they can bring their skills to life. And Tutu is a fun guy to be around. I thought he had great play energy the other day. I thought he made a lot of different plays, and the one thing is I think you're seeing, he's a guy that can play all over the formation. He's getting a bunch of different targets in a bunch of different locations, and it's not exclusive to the deep speed that he possesses. But I've been really proud of Tutu, and I know that he just wants to continue to get better, and he loves football. He loves competing, loves practicing, loves his teammates, and I think a lot of his guys are happy to see what he's done, and he knows that we can continue to take steps, and I'm really happy for Tutu.
Kyron misses 9 games after having surgery after his debut last year. That could be really damaging to a rookie's trajectory. How did you see him kind of attack the mental reps during his recovery?
He's a conscientious guy, and he's incredibly mentally tough. He's resilient. I think people saw he's passionate about the game. And you look at a guy that had a couple different setbacks as a rookie, didn't let it faze him, and just controlled the things that he could control. He's put a lot of really good work in. He's one of those guys that is, similar to what I was saying about Tutu. He's put the work in. He's got a growth mindset. He's just continuing to love the opportunity to go compete and to continue to take steps in the right direction. I love what I've seen from him. I know he's a guy that is going to never be satisfied, and that's a great thing. And, he's a great competitor. I think he saw a lot of the things that we love about Kyron the other day and really over the first couple weeks, and a lot of the same things from that running back room, but he's done an excellent job.
Coach, I know we all have a view of like what we saw Kyron do in the first game against Seattle and Cam, and then we watched Kyron against the 49ers. But when you watched film, what did you see about Kyron that made you decide that this was the right move?
Well, it's about, he's a complete back. I think he's got the ability to play on, all downs. He's really put the work in. He's earned a lot of trust from his coaches, from his teammates, and he's a guy that just continues to take steps in the right direction. I think he's a great example for those guys. And, it was really just about you just continue to evaluate every single day, and you couldn't deny, some of the improvements and the things that he was doing that were in alignment with saying we got to figure out ways to be able to get him involved. And again, you just see the work works for guys like that.
Obviously, a regular season meeting with Cincinnati that's a rematch of a Super Bowl a couple years ago. When you go into a Super Bowl and you have that much time to prepare, even though the teams have changed significantly, do you feel more prepared? Or are they doing similar things?
Well, they do an excellent job. You guys know the respect that I have for Zach, for what they do in all three phases. They present a lot of issues, both personnel-wise and schematically. There's a reason why they've been in, a Super Bowl 2 years ago, why they were in a conference championship again last year. And, there's some familiarity only because there's continuity at the coordinator spots, but there are some different guys that are playing out there. Like anything else, they've done a great job of being able to tweak and add and continue to, present multiple issues, on all three, phases, whether that be teams, whether that be offense or defense. And so, there is some familiarity, but, that still has been, there's a lot that's taken place since that game in 21. And, you even say you go back and you played them in 19, where there was, a lot of continuity there. But it's going to be a great challenge. And, those guys will be ready to go. It'll be a great atmosphere in Cincinnati on Monday night.
Do you anticipate that Burrow, do you guys prepare as if you're going to see Burrow?
Oh, yeah, you have to. You have to be ready. And, Browning is an excellent, capable backup as well, but I think you'd be silly not to prepare for one of the best. And, we'll find out probably later on in the week or maybe 90 minutes before kickoff whether he's going or not.
Asking you to go into detail, but if in fact he doesn't play and you're going to get the next guy, what does that cause a major shift on some levels in terms of the way you approach that game when you're not going to see a star, you're going to see the backup?
Well, I would hope that we're able to approach it the same way. Joe is a phenomenal player, but like I said, you see a lot of really good tape. There's some people that are familiar with, what Browning's done. And so we've got to be ready for both guys. And ultimately, this is the NFL, and you got to be ready to go. You want to see their best. We want to be able to put our best out there, and that's what you love about the opportunity to go compete. But we've got to be able to react accordingly, and we certainly need to be able to prepare for him. And if he goes, then we're going to see a great player. And if he doesn't, then we're going to see a really capable player that can operate their offense at a high level behind him.
Couple more, guys. Sean, going back to Tutu for just a second, visibility to make catches at all three levels in the passing game, kind of just those deep shots, obviously. What kind of growth has he shown in that, and how has he gotten to that point where he's not just the deep target?
Yeah, well, he's always had great aggressive hands, and I just think he's getting more comfortable. He's got a great feel for space. He knows how to navigate traffic. He's super smart, too. He's got an understanding of what's going on defensively. If you talk to Cooper, he's always picking his brain. It's fun to listen to those two, and he and Matthew have a great rapport, and so I think he's really developing he's just become a more complete football player. But you could always see some of the ability that he had and the natural hands and the ability to do a lot of different unique things at Louisville. But it's a really cool credit to the work that he's put in, understanding really how to perfect his craft with his everyday approach and his process. Eric Yarber does a great job with that room as always, and it's really been fun to see the growth of that room as a whole, but especially for Tutu.
Coach, do you see the after the win in Seattle? I know you guys were believers before we got to the opener, but then you beat Seattle. You play the Niners really tough. Do you see the belief continuing to kind of grow right now?
I think the guys know that a lot of the work that they put in gives them a chance to play at their best. And you got to love competing, love the opportunity to get better and really love playing with your teammates. And these coaches love watching these guys continue to improve. And I think when you really love the process and you love what you're doing, you give yourself a chance for improvement. And I do think that, hey, even though we didn't get the result that we wanted, there were some improvements from week 1 to week 2. Now, there were certainly some things that we can clean up collectively, coaches and players alike. But I think these guys know that the work that they put in every single day will allow them to go compete and play with a quieted mind. And that's what I love about this group. And so it's not going to be any different whether, you're coming off of a win at Seattle, you're coming off of a tough loss against a really good football team. I feel a consistent approach from this team. That's what I love. I think that ends up being a really true measurement of performance. And I don't know if that I would say that because I think these guys have a confidence that's been earned from a lot of the work that's been put in, but they have a respect for how difficult it is to do the things that we want when we go out and play in those 3-hour windows every single week. Okay? Thanks, guys.
Thanks.